All right, here's our quick little recap of what we've done so far. In chapters 9 through 11 right now. Chapter 9 was on confidence intervals. And 10 and 11 were on hypothesis tests. And connecting these dots is kind of handy. Why are we doing that? So I'm going to abbreviate confidence intervals as CI. A confidence interval is a range of values that is based on sample data that is likely to include an unknown population parameter. That's what a confidence interval is. Oh, camera got all shitty when I hit record, but it's not shitty in class. A hypothesis test process testing a claim based on sample data made about an unknown population parameter. That parameter is quite frequently, or we have mu, we have p, we could have sigma, or sigma squared, which is variance. Those are the 4 common ones. You notice that they're both based on sample data. And it involves an unknown population parameter. The hypothesis test includes, we have an H naught, which is a former value. For one of these parameters that we think is wrong now. That may be inaccurate. So what the hypothesis test is kind of really doing is H naught in our confidence interval. If it isn't, we can reject it. Supporting our new claim. If it is, we can't reject it. It is within the CI. We can't reject it. Which means there's not enough to really support the new claim. Not enough proof to support the new one. Draw some pictures, compare a little bit more of a comparison. This is really a really short recap. Want to give you guys time to do your project or enjoy spring break early. Preferably both. Get some work done and balance, but if that doesn't happen. I was gonna say you're all adults, but this is not true. Some of you are young whippersnappers. Like our calligraphy writer over here.
Just when she can.
I sure as hell hope so. I sure hope you have nice handwriting. That would be a fucking tragedy. My brother's handwriting is, he fucking writes like a goddamn kindergartner, it's fucking embarrassing.
I just don't like greatest, but at least it's better than this. But then again, that's not saying that much stuff. He holds his pencil like with all 5 fingers and not like this.
Wait, hold a pen with all 5 fingers, that's fucking awkward.
Like something like that, I don't know how he does it. But not the typical way you're supposed to, or even.
Most people hold it with like 3 fingers. Holding like this is fucking. Like I'm writing with a fucking marker on the board or some shit. Hi, how are you doing, Arturo? So not kind of you to join us. The only reason I said shit is you looked embarrassed when you walked in, and I thought, I'm gonna double down on that. Fuck with it a little bit. Everyone good on that one? Except Arturo? Anyone need it up longer? You're okay. Anyone doing anything fun for break?
I'm gonna want this leave the college, but changing plans, so now I don't know.
The fuck would you wanna go to a college in Kansas?
You're going.
There's fucking tornadoes there. Anywhere where the air can relocate your home? Fuck that, hell no.
They gave me $42,000 scholarship, and then Montana was 56, so I was between the two of them. And then,
So don't, if you're looking at scholarship amount, I'll compare it to cost of living and shit like that. Cause a lot of money doesn't mean shit, but Kansas and fucking Montana are both cheap as fuck to live in. Then you're looking at weather, well, okay, Montana, you get the fucking twisters. No, I'm sorry, Kansas, you get the twisters, but Montana, you get the fucking cold, and you get the snow, and you get the ice. And it's more than fucking a month a year, it's like several months a year. So like which one are, those are your two choices? Tornado Alley or fucking ice hell?
Like I got a bunch of other ones, but those are my two picks.
It's like I'm getting the fuck out of home, I don't wanna be in California anymore.
I didn't even apply to a California school.
Alright. Montana's kinda neat. Big sky country,
They're really pretty, I really went together.
so it's pretty there in the fucking nice months.
Yeah.
Alright, so, hypothesis or confidence intervals. In all of them, we're doing some sort of bell curve shit. And in here. Is this is effectively our level of confidence. Inside here. We'll say X%. So it's not always 95%. Whatever this is, let's say X is 90%. For example. The remaining percent, 100% minus 90%. Is 10%. And we take the 10% and it's split between this range and this range. So there's 5% over there and there's 5% over here. And when we do this, this matches up. This is a two-tailed test, or there's two regions. There's two tails. And so this value lines up with alpha. So alpha is gonna be 0.1. 10% as a decimal. And we have the one tail test. I'll just pick a tail for this example. Let's say it's just this side. One tail. So we'll have X% level of confidence. Oftentimes, the way it's checking stuff is, it treats it like this over here, we kind of ignore this. But it kind of, this includes it, so. If this is 90%. Here. Our level of confidence is saying this is 10% here. So if this is 9%, this is alpha is 10%. Well, no, sorry. This, we don't ignore, we kind of ignore it. But we're still gonna treat it like there's 5% over here, I said this wrong, there's 5% over here. There's 5% over here. We're still going with level of confidence is 90%. But the alpha we're gonna use is gonna be 0.05, which is 100 minus 2 times alpha as a percent. And the reason why we can do this is the way hypothesis test works, everything needs to follow a normal distribution. For this to work. We gotta be able to use this bell curve, that's how we're testing it. So that's why we have those tests to say, is this normal? I look like my hair is below my glasses on. A little bit. Apparently it doesn't bother me as much as it used to. I got new glasses, like, I don't know, 6 months ago. Just haven't noticed it, the old ones were, I think were tighter on the face. Alright. How are we doing there? You good, are you done? Anyone else need longer? Are you sure you're done? That was really fast. You starting to just scribble? I don't believe you. So when we have the level of confidence is. I'm gonna say X%, because it changes. Our statement of confidence is really what you're gonna go for. You wanna make a statement of confidence. Which goes along the lines of, we are. X% confident. That the true parameter. We'll say proportion or mean or. Whatever it is here. Etc. Is between. A blank, which is our lower limit. You put in a value here. And another blank, which is the upper limit. That's like a blueprint for writing every single confidence interval, period. In terms of our hypothesis test. So far, we've had 5 so far. So I'll make a little category for what category it is. I'll make a little category or column for H naught and one for HA. So we had a 1 proportion test. which I usually call just one P to make it easy. H naught was P equals a value. HA is P doesn't equal, P is less than, or P is greater than that same value. The other one we did with a single sample was a one means test. Which I usually just call one mu. This had mu equals something and then mu doesn't equal, mu is less than, or mu is greater than that same value. Then we had our two sample tests. Two sample tests. We had a two proportion test. Which I'll call two P. And what goes on in reality is we tend to say P1 equals P2. But in programming it up in StatCrunch, it's P1 minus P2 equals 0. And here P1 minus P2 doesn't equal 0, it's less than 0, or it's greater than 0. That's our proportion category 1. Then we had two of them that had two means. We had the paired one. Paired samples. I usually just call it paired, tells me which one it is. And then we had our independent ones. Which I usually call two mu. This one is a little weird. The mu here is mu D. It's the mean of the differences. Like xi minus yi. X is sample of group 1, y is group 2. And you subtract each individual pair and then you take the mean of that. It's hard to like write that in words very well. Without writing a paragraph. But we do mu d equals 0, and over here it's mu d doesn't equal 0, is less than or greater than 0. This one, it's the mean of the two different groups subtracted. So you find the mean of each group and subtract them, and then over here. It's again the not equal to, less than, or greater than the same value. And both CI and hypothesis tests. In StackRunch. There's only been 2 spots for them. You've done stats, proportion stats. Or stats, T-stats. And in here we have one sample. I'm sorry, we have, yeah, one sample. 2 sample and paired. For the T one. Only the T one has a pair. That's the only spots we've had to do for like almost everything in your final is on this. But you won't even have to do this part for your final. I will do all the StackCrunch work on your final. You will be given the values in StackCrunch. That way. There's none of this. I didn't know how to use the computer. I couldn't do it. I'm testing you on whether or not you understand how confidence intervals work and hypothesis tests work. Any questions?
You zoom in,
What?
so zoom in just a little.
You're fucking kidding me, mister. I'm sitting in the back of the room. Like, I'm fucking high. I don't wanna go up to the room with class.
I need to smoke.
You don't have to smoke to get high. Pop brownies, gummies, there's all sorts of shit. I know firsthand.
I consume THC.
I've probably done way more drugs than all of you guys. It's not really. I quit when I was, after I was young and dumb.
You ever like trip out?
Oh yeah, I've done mushrooms, I've done acid, I've done all sorts of shit. I didn't do anything that involved a needle. Fucking needle, I can't do needles, it's fucking terrifying. But if I could smoke it. They got smoked. Sure, I don't do it anymore, I grew out of it. Wanted to be an adult, make some money, it's kinda hard to make money and be responsible when you're fucking high. So. Hopefully, if you are a partaker, you'll grow out of most of it, only do it on the weekends when you're working and shit. Any questions? Alright, if you guys wanna work on your project, go right ahead. Otherwise, you are free to roam about the country and have a good free break.
Or if you do want to- so you can-